All right, today we are diving deep into a material that is absolutely everywhere right now. I'm talking about bamboo, which, believe it or not, is the fastest growing woody plant on the entire planet.
You've probably heard it called all sorts of things, right? A super material, a green champion, a sustainable superstar. And I mean, it makes sense. We're seeing it in everything from giant buildings to our bed sheets. The potential really does feel endless.
But here's the big question we're asking today. Does it really live up to all that hype? Is this stuff a true S-tier champion in the world of materials? Or is it more of a trendy A-tier grass that's got some pretty serious weak spots? Well, that's what we're here to find out. We are putting bamboo on trial.
Okay, so let's get into it. To really understand bamboo's case, we've got to start with the fundamentals. What is it that makes this plant so special to begin with?
Well, first off, it all comes down to speed. Pure, unbelievable speed. Get this, some types of bamboo can grow almost a meter in just one day. Think about that. That's not just fast, that is absolutely wild. And that incredible growth rate is the whole basis for its claim as this amazing, super renewable material. And here is the kicker, the detail that really changes the entire game. Bamboo is not a tree. It's a type of woody grass. And that little distinction, it's everything. Because when you cut it down, you're not killing the plant. Nope, it just shoots right back up from its own root system. You can come back and harvest it again in just 3 to 5 years. It's incredible.
Now, you might think bamboo is some new, trendy thing, but not even close. This stuff has a serious track record. We're talking a 5,000-year resume. So let's take a look at the historical record, shall we?
For thousands of years, bamboo was just foundational. For entire civilizations across Asia, it was used for everything: tools, houses, even the paper that people wrote on. It really wasn't until the 20th century with the rise of steel and concrete that it kind of got pushed to the side. But now, look at that comeback. In the 2020s, it's having this huge resurgence, but this time, it's as a seriously high-tech engineered material.
Okay, so with that impressive history in mind, it's time to hear the case for bamboo. Let's hear from the prosecution. What are the core engineering strengths that make this stuff a real heavyweight contender?
And wow, this is where it gets really, really impressive. Bamboo's strength-to-weight ratio, it's right up there with steel when you pull on it. It's also super flexible, which is amazing for places that get earthquakes. And while it's growing, it just sucks up tons of CO2. Oh, and at the end of its life, unlike plastic or concrete, it's totally biodegradable. These aren't just nice-to-haves, people. These are truly elite properties.
And yeah, those are the superpowers that are fueling its big, modern comeback. This isn't about looking back. It's all about what it can do right now.
I mean, just look around in 2026. We've got engineered bamboo and massive laminated beams holding up tall buildings. You might even be wearing it right now as a super soft, breathable shirt. We use it for chairs, for packaging. We even eat it. Its versatility is just off the charts, popping up in all these different industries.
And all this leads to a pretty mind-blowing idea: carbon-negative buildings. Let that sink in. We're talking about buildings that literally trap more carbon within their bamboo structures than all the carbon that was released to build them in the first place. For architecture, that is an absolute game changer. So, sounds like an open and shut case, right? S tier, no question. Well, hold on a second. Not so fast. To give this a fair trial, we have to hear the other side. So now, let's hear the case from the defense.
And yeah, here's where we get into the growing pains. Unlike a steel beam that's always the same, every stalk of bamboo is a little different. It can rot or get eaten by bugs if you don't treat it right. Plus, it swells up and shrinks depending on the humidity, a huge headache for builders. And let's not forget, turning that raw plant into a tough, engineered product takes a lot of energy. And then you have to ship it all the way from Asia, which adds to its carbon footprint. These aren't small issues we can just brush aside.
So if you put it right next to its biggest rival, timber, you can really see the trade-offs. Bamboo grows unbelievably fast, sure, but it just doesn't have that consistent shape and size you get from a big, mature tree. Bamboo regrows all by itself, which is great, but you can get timber from forests all over the world. It really boils down to a classic fight: speed versus consistency.
All right, the evidence has been presented. We've heard the compelling case from the prosecution and the valid points from the defense. Now, it's time for the final judgment. Let's run bamboo through our 6 criteria and see where it lands.
And just as a quick refresher, here are the 6 things we judge every material on.
Its historical impact, mechanical properties, workability, scalability, and cost, versatility, and of course, its lasting relevance today.
So, let's look at the final scorecard. It scores really well on historical impact and mechanical properties, though we did have to dock a few points because it's mostly been an Asian material and, it's not perfectly consistent. But look at where it absolutely shines, in its modern use. It gets 2 huge 9s out of 10 for versatility and its relevance right now. That's huge.
So, what's the final verdict? With a really impressive average score of 8.7 out of 10, Bamboo lands firmly in the high A tier. No, it's not the perfect, flawless S-tier champion, but make no mistake, it is an elite, game-changing disruptor.
And that really sums it up perfectly. Bamboo isn't here to replace all timber or all steel. It has real weaknesses we can't ignore. But for a ton of different uses, it is a faster, greener, more renewable option that is genuinely changing how we build things and how we live.
Which kind of leaves us with one last big question to think about. Bamboo made it to the high A tier because of its amazing speed and how renewable it is. If that's what makes a disruptor today, what's next? What kind of properties, like maybe self-healing abilities or built-in intelligence or being perfectly recyclable, what will define the S-tier champions of tomorrow?